And now this is the part where I rank anime or animation or any kind of series. Even though I only watch anime, I haven't watched an North American series since a long time. And not even this Mario series, because this is done by Australians. Oh well, it's time. What is this? Why is Mario with the mustache so long? Why is a hammer? Why is a spike? Why is a recolor of Mario? And why is Mario looking at me so evilly? This is the original creator of the Amazing Digital Circus. This is what the Digital Circus creators made before the Digital Circus. The best parodies I've seen in my life. This is SMG4. If you love comedy, you are gonna laugh a ton, especially with the older videos, but I think between 2018, SMG4 began to add more spice to the story of these parodies. And last year, and I think I stopped watching SMG4 during pandemic. But so last year, when the Amazing Digital Circus showed up, and it turned out to be a creation of Glitch Productions of SMG4, I was like, man, it's the time to catch up! And boy, what a ride has been. On this year, I watched the YouTube arc, the Genesis arc, obviously the movie, the SMG4 movie, and the other SMG4 movie. And there are more SMG4 movies which I'm gonna rank next year when I totally catch up, which I think I will. And well, first the YouTube arc, and I like it. I liked it, but I think this one is my least favorite of the SMG4 arcs, and it's still better than the own Mario movie. I don't know, like it didn't hit that hard to me. What happened to the villain of that arc, who is SMG3, a doppelganger of SMG4? But the arc that I really like, the Genesis arc. But before the Genesis arc actually started, it began with the movie of the 10-year anniversary. And this movie was really funny, because SMG4 is really funny. But better than the Neverending Story, better than my beloved Digimon? Nah, I wouldn't say so. Better than Spice in... Yeah. Don't worry, SMG4, because now you are gonna surpass that rank. The Genesis arc was the most complete and heart-wrenching arc of SMG4, and it also one of the most funny. One of the funniest ones. And that also applies to the movie that serves as an actual epilogue to the Genesis arc. I don't think it is a masterpiece movie too, but again, it's funny, it's good, it's an epic conclusion. This is where I draw the line. The Revelations movie of SMG4 draws the line. And man, now I finished watching the Lawsuit arc, which I think I liked a bit less than the Genesis arc, but more than the YouTube arc. But that's gonna be for the 2024 ranking. So now, Boku no Hero, only the season 4. This is only based on the season 4. And the first half of the season 4 is enough to compete with Highlander, the Slam Dunk movie. The second half is way more chill. But the first half, with the Polaris opening, which is also... Polaris is also the final boss of Devil Survivor 2. This is one, but I don't care. I need to mention Devil Survivor 2 as is this one of my favorite games ever. And yeah, the Boku no Hero Season 4 pretty much blowed out of the water all of what came before for Boku no Hero, because Boku no Hero is... I don't know, it's a good anime, but it isn't a very in-depth one. and season 4 added in some death, and that was enough to make it excellent. Better than the Neverending Story? Yes, better than Oppenheimer. It's difficult to say. Wait a minute, I think I like Oppenheimer more than Highlander. Better than Highlander? Difficult to say. I'm gonna say no. And now, more retro stuff that I like. Saint Seiya, the original anime from 1986, which I actually wanted to watch ever since I was little. Only this year I managed to start it. And we here have 4 different sagas of Saint Seiya, the original. We have this one I'm gonna use for the arc before the Knights Assault the 12 Houses, and afterwards comes the saga of Asgard, and lastly the end is the saga of Poseidon. This is a photo of the music album, but it serves. It works. And I really dig the original chapters of the Knights of the Zodiacs, like a lot. Lots of stuff happening. I think the opening could have taken a little bit more time to properly introduce the characters, like after chapter 1, Seiya got his armor, and already a tournament, already fights, already someone stealing the golden armor, but at least lots of different stuff happened in between each fight, in between each chapters. I didn't know what the direction of the story was gonna take, and I really like that. I think these first chapters are what I like the most of the original Saint Seiya. I now consider myself a Saint Seiya fan, but this is the most iconic Saint Seiya arc, the 12 Houses. And objectively, in theory, it might be better than these first chapters, but I don't know. It has a fundamental pace flaw, which is the same flaw that JoJo has, which is the chapters pretty much are based on fighting the enemy of the day, and that made it kinda tedious to watch. Objectively, I think it's better. I would say it's better than JoJo's in that regard. It's better because at least during the fights, the honor of the knights is put into test. But really, with that pace problem, it was kinda it was heavy to watch. Okay, when the arc got good, it got really good, so above Spider-Man 2. But it has this this pace problem. What doesn't have pace problems was Bungo Stray Dogs the GOAT! This is season 4 and 5, which I'm gonna write the same because they start up exactly when the other one left, and I think they are part of the same arc. Season 4 made my boy Ranpo, did my boy Ranpo so good. I have an special, I don't know how to say chapita here with Kunikida and Ranpo, and Kunikida is almost like my dad, both physically and mentally, and Ranpo was one of my favorite characters. He didn't have much development, but I really liked him. But thanks to this season, thanks to the 4th season, I now think Ranpo is one of the best characters of the series. Because the first chapters were pretty much developing Ranpo, how he got to the detective agency. And they did so good in there. And the roller coaster that came afterwards. Sorry, these 2 seasons are my winner for Best Anime 2023. And they actually released on 2023 for once! Man, pero The Bungo Stray Dogs Season 4 and Season 5 were amazing ultra roller coasters. I remember liking the first 3 seasons of Bungo Stray Dogs, but these ones I straight up loved them. No, I won't say it's still the GOAT because, well, the season 5 technically ended. It also didn't fully end the whole story, and it has some post credits, meaning that the story will have to continue on the same day the story of the last chapter of season 5 ended, and the manga is apparently continuing as well. But anyways, when season 6 comes out, I'm gonna bundle all of these ups and probably crank it up to the GOATs. And this image is to represent a manga. This is for representing the Promised Neverland after the time skip. I don't feel like ranking each arc individually of the Promised Neverland, unlike I did with Saint Seiya, for example, because honestly I think I enjoyed it most on the same level, while on Saint Seiya I enjoyed them on different levels. And technically and while I could also merge season 4 and 5 of Bungo Stray Dogs because I enjoyed it on an equal level, I don't know, man. For the ramp up part, I think they deserve to be separated. But well, the Promised Neverland manga, I have almost the full collection right here. This is the second manga series I finished to read in their entirety. This is I am only missing the first like 4 volumes, which I watched on the first season of the anime. Instead of continuing with season 2, I decided to continue with the manga, and it was a really good choice. And the ending, I heard it was controversial, and I would say not the best ending possible, but far from the worst. It's kinda good. So, but also I don't think Neverland reached to the point of being ultra deep, mind-blowing. So I'm placing it as the best of the excellence. Objectively better than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And they could have fixed so many of the little problems it has. It had the little things it didn't have time to tell. They could have fixed them on season 2, but that turned out badly. And I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna watch season 2. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if I do, it's gonna be ranked. Probably along with one of these. Sadly. And now continuing. The saga of the Asgard saga. And man, this is considered the best filler of all time. Because this arc didn't happen in the manga. And because I already knew this arc wasn't on the manga, I wasn't fair with it. I didn't enjoy it that much, to be honest. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry for this. And I'm sorry for this as well. Objectively, the Asgard is like powering up the concept of the 12 houses, which in theory is good, but it also powered up the rhythm problem because I came out of the 12 houses saga and I was like, okay, I think it's time for the Knights to have some chapters of rest and wholesomeness. But then the next chapter after they defeated the final boss of the Asgard saga of the 12 houses saga was like, no, the Asgardians are coming to attack and we gotta fight right now. They didn't give my voice any time for to rest. And not only that, it turned out the Asgard saga again was using the same formula of the 12 Houses saga. And I was like, god damn it. And not only that, this was a prejudice of mine. I really thought Saint Seiya was gonna stick to the Greek mythos. And then I see people from Asgard, from the Norse mythos, and I was like, what? Saint Seiya is a multi-mythological series like Megami Tensei or Fate? And I really should give the Asgard saga another shot. But with the formulaic chapters, it feels like I don't feel a true desire to watch it again with better eyes. I did watch the last chapters of the Asgard saga when Seiya, the protagonist, gets the power from Thor to save the Asgard kingdom, and that was an epic chapter. I really liked that one. And immediately afterwards, it began my second favorite saga of Saint Seiya, which is apparently the most hated. What is wrong with me? But I really liked the Poseidon. I really liked the Poseidon arc. The Poseidon saga is the shortest one of the mains. Saint Seiya is supposedly divided in the 12 houses: Poseidon, Hades, and Zeus, which Zeus hasn't happened yet. But Poseidon is shorter than the Asgard saga, is shorter than the 12 houses saga. A shame for him, but I really liked it. This is the last arc of the original 1986 anime, so this arc feels like the final rush, the final boss, like the final level. And while the enemies don't have as much depth as the Asgard series, as the Asgard saga, which is why people don't like the Poseidon saga that much, it at least went by faster. It at least make it clear we gotta destroy 7 pillars before getting to Poseidon, and we gotta do it fast because the world is gonna get drowned like in Sonic Adventure. The Asgard saga took like 3 chapters to establish. We gotta fight 7 knights representing the constellations before that. And to be honest, knowing it was filler, I really wanted to get into Poseidon, which is why I liked it. Which is why watching the Asgard series was more tiring than anything. Even though, objectively, the Asgard saga and the Poseidon saga should be swapped. But I'm not fully objective, goddammit. Also, I think the finale was kinda rushed, but also by knowing it's not the full finale of the whole Saint Seiya story, I give it a pass. I'm gonna start watching the Hades series, the Hades saga this year. And now only 5 enemies remain. Well, technically 4. Because this is the first part of the end movies of Shingeki no Kyojin. I'm gonna say there. No, yes, I really didn't like the Asgard's the 12 Houses saga as much as I could. And clearly this movie was a setup for the movie from afterwards. So not much to say here. It was cool, it was epic. They killed one of the characters I liked the most here, and somehow I didn't cry with that, but I felt something, but not something that strong. And afterwards, the actual finale of Shingeki no Kyojin. I was warned of it, so after watching the first movie of the end, I read the finale on the manga thanks to a family member who has it. He borrowed he lent it to me, and there I read the ending and I thought, wait, this is not that bad. This is a final boss, and the character who was the final boss died, and apparently it's supposed to represent how mankind it will inevitably go to war still, kinda depressing yet hopeful at the same time, for at least a moment of peace, but it's still more depressing than hopeful. Anyways, but I didn't think but after reading it, I was like, why was this hated? Like, it wasn't the best ending ever, but I also didn't think it was the worst. I think it was because of the Armin conversation. Armin has a special conversation which is the key to the final of Shingeki no Kyojin, pretty much more than the actual final battle. And people hated what Eren said, even so I think that the point was to make Eren on that conversation look like a stupid dumbass who didn't truly thought all the things as well as she should. But in the anime, they made the scenes heart-wrenching. And it's weird. Look, in the anime they fixed the conversation so well. They added many more wholesome moments with Armin and Eren, and with that conversation fixed, and with some pretty cool soundtrack and really amazing animation, I still wouldn't say it's a masterpiece ending, but it's an amazing one. Better than the conclusion of SMG4, sorry. Even though SMG4 still continues. Man, seriously, they added context to the conversation, they explained things more properly, and you still feel like Eren deserves a big punch, but you also don't truly hate him. Oh man. And now, these two Rumiko Takahashi series. Rumiko Takahashi is a legendary manga author, and of course her manga were adapted to anime. First, Inuyasha came out on Netflix and I watched it on Amazon. And I'm placing it. This is one anime, well, this is one of the legendary animes in my opinion, one of the most famous ones. It's like a shonen with romantic comedy elements, which I don't think they were the pretty developed. And well, here instead of what I did with Saint Seiya, which was for dividing the series, I'm ranking Inuyasha as a whole, because even though it has some arcs, I don't think they are pretty different, and honestly I expected to like Inuyasha more. I still like it, I still think it's a really good anime, and I love how Inuyasha is a dog, not a wolf, not a fox, a dog. And due to the power scaling and setting, Inuyasha feels like a middle ground between the original Dragon Ball when Goku was young and the new Dragon Ball Z where it went with aliens, gods, even though I think Inuyasha should fight a god in Japanese mythology, but I don't think so. The real enemy of Inuyasha is Naraku, not a god like Izanami. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty good and pretty nostalgic, especially to watch on TV. The soundtrack of Inuyasha is amazing, especially on Latin Spanish, which is why I hate the licenses expired and now Inuyasha on Netflix doesn't have the Latin Spanish songs. It has some of the Japanese ones, but not all. Ironically, the songs of Inuyasha where the copyright expired, and so no one outside of Japan can use them, are my favorite ones. Change the World, Brand New World, and One Day One Dream. And they cannot renew the licenses because something went wrong with the bands, and that's a huge shame, especially with Change the World, which is, especially in Latin Spanish, one of the most iconic opening songs in anime history. And I think you can even find a full version of the songs sung by the original singers. You can find a slight remix, a cover done by other people, like Adrian Barba, but the original singer, this full release of 4 minutes, doesn't exist. And it won't exist because the singer again sadly died, like Wadakoji. But, well, if they could use Wadakoji's voice after death to make new remixes, I think people should be able to use, I think it was called Nicolas Silva and Ricardo Silva's voices to make the proper full version of the songs. And it's weird because the full versions of the openings, if you find in YouTube, even in Japanese, the full version of the songs sound different than the opening versions. And that's a problem because the opening versions already have sound effects and the yelling of Inuyasha title on getting on the way of listening. The ending 6, for example, Itasura na Kiss, I really love the original version of used as an ending in Latin Spanish. It has a lot more emotion for being a pretty funny song. But the remix and full version you can find on YouTube, sung by the original singer, has different instrumentation. And she also used a different, I think he used a voice code to change her voice, and I'm sorry, I like the way you sing she sang on the original version more. And that applies to every song of Inuyasha. Shame what happened. Amazon Prime did have the original songs in Latin Spanish, even changed the world, but it used to have them. Now Inuyasha on Amazon Prime became exactly as Inuyasha on Netflix. I enjoyed the first 4 openings in Lightning thanks to Amazon Prime, but afterwards it suddenly changed and it was the same as watching of Netflix. Perfect, Amazon, you removed the one thing that made you could use against Netflix on one of your shows. Now for another Rumiko Takahashi anime that I have no complaints, Urusei Yatsura, the remake from 2022. From last year, which I actually watched this year. And I'm in doubt. Objectively, Bungo Stray Dogs is the best. But Urusei Yatsura became one of my favorite animes ever. At the same level of SMG4. SMG4 as a whole would be on the goats. The individual arcs themselves, when you fully analyze it trying to be the comedy masterpiece, that's when they kinda fall apart, but still 9 out of 10. Yeah, but Urusei Yatsura is, I think it's an anime designed for me. It has the humor I like, it has beautiful animation, it has beautiful waifus. Ataru Moroboshi is, we say funable. Funable is like a dude to cancel, but he's still funny. Tonight I had a dream of Urusei Yatsura. And Urusei Yatsura is comedy gold. This gold has some of the prettiest animation, especially the hair of the girls, especially the hair of Lam. It looks so pretty. The colors, the animation, the shading, the reflections. And it also comedy gold. It's many people say the Urusei Yatsura's comedy has aged a bit, and to be honest, it kinda does. Especially because some of the humor revolves about the protagonist doing some illegal stuff to keep this video monetized. It's not an age anime. It's not even an ecchi, but with the waifus sometimes it kinda feels like it. But anyways, I loved Urusei Yatsura's comedy gold. and it became one of my favorite anime. This is only the first season. The second season is premiering on 5 days from now. And the last anime I watched, of course, as a Digimon fan, I have to keep myself with watching every single Digimon anime, with Ghost Game. Digimon Ghost Game is the best Digimon series in soundtrack! As a whole anime, god damn it has already been 15 minutes. I don't know. Right, the Octopath Traveler 2 soundtrack has not been extended yet. What can I use to ambient Digimon Ghost Game? Something from Save Sleuth. No, something from Metroid Prime. I'm recording, right? Yes. Well, Digimon Ghost Game, it has some of the best soundtrack of Digimon, especially the evolution songs. First Riders and Makuaki, which are the evolution teams, are straight up are top 5 Digimon evolution songs. The endings, I like them. Monster Disco is really fun, and the third ending, I think I liked it a lot as well. Or was it the second? No, I think it was the third. Faction is really iconic, even though it's more of a fun song rather than a super amazing song. No, but really, not only the First Riders and Makuaki carry Digimon Ghost Game soundtrack, also the original ambient sounds really make you feel the supposed terror of the Digimon represented as ghosts generated by holograms. Now, Digimon Ghost Game has a fatal flaw. Remember what happened on Saint Seiya with the 12 houses, with the Asgard Saga, even the Poseidon to an extent? The same problem as, say, JoJo's has? Well, Digimon Ghost Game is the incarnation of that. It's the incarnation of the conflict of the day. First chapter, they set up like, you gotta find your dad, you gotta discover what's happening in the digital world, why are Digimons appearing on the real world. And second chapter, go fix some Digimon who is mummifying people. Third chapter, introduced, I don't remember who. Fourth chapter, and it keeps going like that, and because of that, and they could at least have some nice development for the episodic, like at least make the protagonist act more mature on the last episodic episodes rather than in the first episodes. Although it feels like the protagonist, kinda feels like Agaris too, not as much as Taiki from Digimon Cross Wars, and he's cool, he's nice. It's weird. Digimon Ghost Game works, but it leaves you wanting something even better than what it was. Objectively, it works pretty well, and it also does have good animation. It has some epic songs. I'm gonna crank it out just because I have a Digimon bias. But the episodic nature killed Ghost Game, and Ghost Game did have some potential for an actual story. That's the deal. And it was, I don't know, man. There is a YouTuber who made a video explaining what went wrong with Ghost Game, and it doesn't totally burn Ghost Game to the trash, but it also showcases why Digimon Ghost Game was so controversial and so weird. Well, weird it wasn't. It's better. At least Ghost Game fixed the the problem of the previous Digimon anime, which was Adventure 2020, which Adventure 2020 also was episodic like JoJo's, but Adventure 2020 you turned your brain off. It's pretty much a worthless anime outside of the animation and maybe the music. Break the Chain is from 2020. Extreme Fight is an amazing song from 2020. Ghost Game at least knows from the start it's gonna be the day of the protagonist solving a problem that is a Digimon causing. Even though it also left some plot that we wanted to solve but it never did. And you don't turn off your brain while watching Ghost Game. You at least can truly process what is happening there. And we have reached what I wanted to reach the most. The games! For this I'm gonna make a slight pause and go to do what a man gotta do.